KOIN TV, Channel 6.
The president, the governors, and small business tangle in Tulsa. A preview of a big battle brewing over health care reform. Two Carolina 18-year-olds appear in court, charged with the murder of Michael Jordan's father. And Eye on America. Tonight, a bevy of benefits. What some companies will do for their workers and for themselves.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather and Connie Chung.
Good evening. Connie's on assignment. Health care reform. We still don't know exactly what it will be or how much it will cost. Details are lacking, but President Clinton started to sell it today. It's his plan and Hillary Clinton's plan for at least trying to provide health care coverage to every American. The president knocked first on the doors of old colleagues, America's 50 governors. His theme was, I need Republican as well as Democratic support. Bill Plant reports from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Fresh from the bruising budget battle, President Clinton turned to his next major issue, health care reform, pleading for bipartisanship this time.
I never want to go through another 6 months where we have to get all of our votes within one party.
The system of managed health care, which Mr. Clinton will present in detail next month, would cover all Americans, but it would require all employers and workers to join and to pay.
I think every American should know that health care is not something paid for by the tooth fairy. That there is no free ride. That people should understand that this system costs a lot of money.
Exactly what the health plan will cover and how it will be paid for, Mr. Clinton did not say. But small businesses fear the required costs will put them out of business. And earlier, their spokesman called it social dynamite.
Businesses will close, especially smaller ones, the very smallest ones. Employees will lose their jobs.
Burned in the budget fight when they allowed the opposition to define their program, White House aides struck back quickly today to rebut the charge. The new program will be phased in gradually with subsidies for small business. A top official showed up to give reporters the administration's spin.
The vast majority of companies are going to save a ton of money in this program. And that savings and their ability to take that money and reinvest it is going to be what creates jobs.
As for bipartisanship, well, Republican governors weren't quite there.
I am most fearful of the fact that they'll go to the Congress of the United States with a major plan and that the Congress will adopt it and not have the money to fund it and shift the cost to the states, and then we will really be in the swamp.
Republican governors aren't the only skeptics. A CBS News poll taken last month showed that less than half the public believed Mr. Clinton could actually deliver on his campaign promise of health care reform. But that certainly won't stop him from trying. Bill Plant, CBS News, Tulsa.
In his speech today, President Clinton told the governors how frustrating he finds it is to work in Washington. The president said the political process is dominated by, and now I quote him directly, rhetoric and air-filling bull. He did not say how much of that, if any, he thought was his. So 7 months after arriving in town, the Clinton team clearly is still feeling like it does not get a fair shake. Eric Ingberg has more about it.
Beyond the personal tragedy, the suicide of Vince Foster and its aftermath has provided graphic evidence that the Clinton White House views itself as a troop of innocents besieged by an enemy called Washington. Under fire in the press and so troubled by investigations it was recently revealed he was looking for his own lawyer, Foster left a note blaming Washington, where ruining people is considered sport. It's a view privately shared by many Clinton loyalists. But many veterans of previous administrations who remember the abuse they took detect an overdose of self-pity.
I think from the president on down, there's a clear resentment, if you please, or certainly a sensitivity to the treatment they're receiving from the press. I'd charge it up to not understanding Washington.
Harry Truman, who understood only too well, said of Washington, if you want a friend, get a dog. The White House is not a friendly place.
For someone who needs a little praise, it's seldom there. For someone who doesn't have very thick skin, it's not the place to be.
And the mighty have been falling for a long time. A frequent flying Sununu, a Poindexter tainted by Iran-Contra, a tower done in by past boozing, and all the president's men. Such falls contribute to Washington's love of itself as a tough town, even though anyone who's experienced the New York media grinder or the paparazzi of L.A. would scoff at such a claim. As a governor, Mr. Clinton surrounded himself with loyalists. To a reporter who's followed his political career, it was not surprising that this White House staff is heavy on friends unschooled in the rough and tumble of Washington.
He brought in people he knew that he could rely on. He rely upon their loyalty from long-standing friendships. So that's been his method, and it's probably has not served him terribly well.
Far from making themselves at home, many of the Clinton loyalists have judged permanent Washington a hostile environment that justifies their bitter feeling, it's us against them. Eric Engberg, CBS News, Washington.
2 young men are being held without bail in North Carolina tonight, charged with the murder of basketball star Michael Jordan's father. The violent death sparked a half-dozen theories about the motive, some including possible connections to gambling. But today, police said it was no more than brutality and greed, that James Jordan, quote, could have been any one of us. Correspondent Reed Galen reports from North Carolina.
The commotion as suspects Larry Demery and Daniel Green waded down the courthouse walk to be charged with first-degree murder was a measure of just how much a superstar Michael Jordan is.
They need to pay and pay dearly. Yeah.
But in a community like Lumberton, the case is not just about the famous family that mourns a senseless killing. It's also about the little people lost behind the headlines of James Jordan's murder.
I know one of the boys, and they have a nice family.
Larry Demery's family isn't used to being in the spotlight the way the Jordans are, and greeted reporters coldly.
I said to leave and leave now. Get.
Demery himself was obviously shaken as he was formally charged. But neither he or Green are strangers to a courtroom. Both had violent criminal histories long before James Jordan became a famous victim of what looks like just another random street crime in America. Police believe Jordan pulled off to the side of the road here near I-95 to rest. It was the middle of the night. They believe he was shot while he sat or slept in his car. And if it hadn't been the father of the famous Michael Jordan, whose more anonymous loved one might it have been?
I don't know what to say about 18-year-olds that rob and kill. Unfortunately, it happens. We have to deal with it every day.
An ordinary citizen pulled over at James Jordan's last stop to leave a remembrance. This man's own father died in an accident here, and perhaps he drove off thinking that no one is safe anymore, and no place. Not even the top of the heap. Reed Galen, CBS News, Lumberton, North Carolina.
Still ahead, on tonight's CBS Evening News, accusations that Britain and other countries, including the U.S., are conducting foreign policy by photo op in Bosnia. And a U.S. Marine, a high-profile murder trial, and a Japanese community up in arms.
Every night during trout season, Ed Russell ties some of the best flies ever seen on Pinecrest Lake. But sometimes his arthritis pain can make it tough to sleep. That's when his wife Ann gives him Tylenol PM gel caps. Unlike ordinary pain relievers, it has extra-strength Tylenol pain reliever, plus a gentle ingredient to help him sleep, which is good news for Ed, but not for the trout population of Pinecrest Lake. Tylenol PM, it puts arthritis pain to rest.
Put traction into action because Goodyear Traction is on sale now. Save on selected Goodyear Eco Performance tires, selected Goodyear Wranglers for light trucks and vans, and save on every all-season Goodyear Aquatread. Save now at Goodyear.
Day after day, you make those glasses of thick Metamucil disappear. Why not make them all disappear with Fibercon? Doctor-recommended Fibercon gives you the same fiber regularity in tablets.
Easy to swallow tablets.
Get doctor-recommended Fibercon.
Peace talks on Bosnia resumed in Geneva today. The Bosnians call them surrender talks. With a background of continued talk about possible NATO airstrikes, the warring factions reached an agreement to make Sarajevo an open city administered by the United Nations. As wanted by the Serbs, the rest of Bosnia is supposed to be carved up into 3 ethnic mini-states. In Sarajevo, UN officials said today that the last Serbian units were pulling out of positions on 2 key mountains. Still, NATO planes continued flying practice runs from the U.S. Navy carrier Roosevelt and other places, and the U.S. State Department said the Bosnian capital is still being strangled, and so the threat of bombing remains in effect. A spokesman also said the U.S. is ready to airlift 100 emergency medical cases out of Bosnia now. It's all part of an international rescue mission inspired by the plight of one little girl. But as correspondent Mark Phillips reports, there's more at stake than children's lives.
Today's announcement that the U.S. will now join the growing list of countries taking more sick and wounded children out of Bosnia is the latest example of the newest Bosnian phenomenon, foreign policy by photo op. A policy that began with the sad picture of Irma, a victim of a mortar attack whose desperate doctor brought Western reporters to her bedside. 1,000 children dying is a statistic, the old saying goes, but one child dying is a good story, and a good opportunity for Western governments to be seen to be doing something.
If children are brought out and are seen to be thriving and their lives saved, that salves the conscience of the West and of the countries who've been allowing this to happen over the last 2 years.
So Irma was flown to London, where she's still in critical but stable condition. And that spawned Operation Irma, which was supposed to fly other children out of Sarajevo, even if so far mostly adults have been flown out, and some of them look suspiciously like wounded Bosnian soldiers.
Photo op foreign policy, it's certainly that. It's certainly something which is cheap. It's not going to have a long-term commitment. It's about maximizing your publicity so that we choose children rather than adults.
A policy of flying the sick and wounded, particularly sick and wounded children, out of Bosnia has the undeniable benefit of being doable, which is more than can be said about any other Western response thus far to try to actually end the conflict. The West may want children, but the people on the ground say the need is larger.
Certainly it's morally wrong, whatever the reason for their wound, to let them lie in hospital wasting away if their injury can be cured with a simple surgical procedure not available in Sarajevo.
Now others have resorted to the camera weapon. These are Croat children wounded by Muslim fire, more Irmas, whose only hope is evacuation.
We're left with Irma, we're left with a moral problem, but at the end of the day, it contributes very little to ending the war.
In the end, it only ends the war for some of its youngest victims. Mark Phillips, CBS News, London.
Stay with CBS now for much more news, including a deadly disease makes a serious comeback. What you can do to protect yourself.
My baloney has a first name. It's O-S-C-A-R. My baloney has a second name. It's M-A-Y-E-R. Yeah, I love to eat it every day. And if you ask me why, I'll say...
You could give your kids a bologna made from less than 100% pure beef or one with fillers. The question is, why would you?
'Cause Oscar Mayer has a way with B-O-L-O-G-N-A.
Introducing Ford Taurus Wagon and the Picnic. Its smart design makes it perfect for a picnic, while its dual airbags and anti-lock brakes make it perfect for when life's something less than a picnic. Ford Taurus, America's best-selling car.
My lord, the killer was eating cookies.
Quite right.
But my client doesn't eat cookies. She eats Fig Newtons.
Case dismissed.
A cookie is just a cookie, but Newtons are fruit and cake.
Today, Dave Ryan will understand the benefits of a little extra protection. Today, Brady Blackwell will come to appreciate a shatter-resistant shampoo bottle. Today, for the first time in years, Sheila Connor's grandpa will be able to walk with less pain. Today will be a better day for a lot of people, simply because of a material we call plastic.
Eye on America, in-depth daily reports on family, education, crime, the community, and the environment, only on the CBS Evening News.
The Hawaiian Islands and its people are preparing tonight for an unwelcome caller, Hurricane Fernanda. Islanders who still haven't recovered from Hurricane Iniki last year aren't about to take this one lightly. The hurricane's present course would take it just north of the island chain, but forecasters warn that only a slight change in direction could spell real trouble. Fernandez's sustained winds are topping 100 miles an hour. In the Caribbean, tropical storm, not a hurricane, but tropical storm Cindy brought torrential rainfall and 40-mile-an-hour winds to the Dominican Republic. The storm broke up over the island late today and was officially downgraded to a tropical depression. Officials warn there's still a danger of mudslides and flooding. An epidemic is racing through the Northeast states, an epidemic of rabies in wild animals. Also at risk, children, as correspondent Giselle Fernandez reports.
This is what's frightening people in the Northeast. Raccoons sick with rabies.
It is a disease which kills virtually everyone who gets it, so you can't have a bigger problem than that.
Just over 1,600 rabid animals have been found in New York State so far this year. In one county alone, they've seen the number explode.
I have shot one up here. They say they're all over. You never know where they're going to be.
So police officers like Jeff Dish are patrolling the trails and warning people about strange acting animals.
It is sick. It's a wild animal. It will bite you. I've been chased, so that's what we're afraid of, a kid getting bit.
A fear that's intensified since the death of 11-year-old Kelly Arendt, the first person to die of rabies in New York State in almost 40 years.
We don't know how the child was exposed.
And that's what can be so frightening. You don't have to be bitten or scratched by an infected animal to get rabies. Coming in contact with its saliva can do it. If you think your child or your pet has been exposed, you have no time to waste.
Once the symptoms show up, even with the very best medical care, you're almost certainly not going to survive.
A threat Kathy Drummond is taking seriously. She was bitten by a wild cat.
There's one.
She sought immediate treatment.
No, because I thought it was going to be painful and everything, the shots in the stomach. They don't do that anymore.
Now it's a short series of shots, generally in the arm. The side effects no worse than a flu shot. Drummond says it was the death of Kelly Arendt that made her take the threat seriously and vow to keep herself and her son well away from wild animals. Giselle Fernandez, CBS News, New York.
More CBS Evening News straight ahead, including Eye on America. Tonight, company benefits in the 90s. Employees exercise new options.
If you're concerned about regularity, keep in mind, these are drugs. They come in many colors. Electric blue, shocking pink, Dayglow orange. Kellogg's All Bran is not a drug. It comes in just one color, the natural color of wheat bran fiber. We admit it's not as flashy, but a lot of regular folks find All Bran as part of a high-fiber diet. Very tasteful. A high-fiber diet and Kellogg's All Bran for drug-free regularity.
Okay, here's a real nightmare. Imagine a stove made of glass. What a greasy mess. But it's the perfect job for new Glass and Surface Windex Clear. See, some all-purpose cleaners leave a cloudy residue. New Windex Clear has a unique degreasing formula for a clean that's crystal clear. So say goodbye to cloudy residue, now for all your surfaces. There's new Glass and Surface Windex Clear for a clean as clear as glass. From S.C. Johnson Wax.
Look at me, enjoying a crisp red apple. Even with my dentures, thanks to Super Polygrip.
Super Polygrip holds so tight, many denture wearers can enjoy more of their favorite foods.
Even apples.
Super Polygrip.
Why is Tux Medicated Pads the brand of hemorrhoid relief hospitals trust most? Because when hemorrhoids flare up, Tux provides soothing, cooling relief on contact. Tux, the brand hospitals trust most.
Are your kids ready to open their new school books? We'll see, plus a 100th birthday celebration for Mae West.
Good man. Tomorrow on CBS This Morning with Harry Smith and Paula Zahn.
A U.S. federal judge today rejected a bid for freedom by Sheikh Omar Abdel Rahman and upheld an order to deport him. Followers of the blind Egyptian cleric have been linked to the World Trade Center bombing. In Germany, police stormed a Dutch airliner today and arrested an Egyptian hijacker who had demanded the sheikh be freed. No one in Germany was hurt. An 18-year-old U.S. Marine is on trial on the Japanese island of Okinawa, charged with murdering a Japanese civilian. As our Tokyo correspondent James Hattori reports, this case has stirred bitter emotions, both here and on the island that was a blood-soaked battleground during World War II.
It was a shocking crime on Japan's island paradise. An Okinawan man beaten in a back alley and left to die. Marine Private Christopher Glidden admits he was the attacker, but denies he intended to commit murder. Glidden says they were heading home after a night drinking. He lashed out when the man allegedly made a homosexual advance.
This guy made sexual advances on him. Was off, so he beat him up.
It's unclear why Glidden reacted as violently as he did. Still, the tragedy has stirred anti-military feelings on Okinawa, which have been simmering for decades. To many here, the murder of a civilian is symbolic of Okinawa's plight. Residents are increasingly resentful of the huge military presence on their tiny island. By treaty with Japan, the U.S. maintains more than 45,000 personnel here. Friction is inevitable. Noise from pilot training, roads blocked by maneuvers, paratroopers landing in backyards.
Hey, it's not my fault. I'm protecting my soldiers. Out of my way. Move. No. Move. No.
During World War II, 150,000 Okinawans died when the Japanese made a last-ditch effort against the U.S. Losses which taught a painful lesson.
The survivors simply thought, we just don't want to see any soldier, any army, any tank, any gun.
Okinawa's governor was elected on a Get the Military Out platform, but that's up to the Japanese national government, which is bound by a treaty.
They told us put up with the situation, but Okinawan people have put up enough.
And while the military is trying to be a better neighbor, Okinawa remains a strategic location.
The peace and security in the region that they enjoy and the commerce they enjoy is in part because we are here.
But increasingly, Okinawans say the price they're paying is too much to bear. James Hattori, CBS News, Naha City, Okinawa.
Attention heartburn sufferers.
If antacids work, why do I keep getting heartburn?
You know, frequent heartburn may be a sign of a more serious medical problem. Your doctor has treatment plans that can help.
Frequent heartburn. Isn't it time you talk to your doctor?
The good news, diets rich in antioxidants may benefit your long-term health. The bad news, the average diet is not rich in antioxidants. Today's news, Protegra, the new antioxidant supplement that's all antioxidants. More vitamin E, vitamin C, and beta-carotene. Protegra, with more antioxidant support than you get from a regular multivitamin. To boost your antioxidant levels, even if you take a multivitamin, add Protegra to your daily routine. Protegra, the good news in antioxidants.
They're all angels, but boy, do they make a mess. In my classroom, I have a cabinet full of brawny. Those thirst pockets are what do the trick. Spill after spill, day after day. At times, I lose it. Sometimes I'd like them to absorb the kids.
Only Brawny has thirst pockets. These unique absorbers make Brawny so good at soaking up spills.
Brawny gets to the mess before the mess gets to you.
My hemorrhoids hurt so much, I was afraid I needed surgery. But my doctor said they weren't serious, and it's time I used Preparation H.
Preparation H helps relieve the symptoms of inflamed hemorrhoidal tissues, often bringing relief from itching, burning, and painful irritation for hours. Doctor recommended Preparation H.
Now, Hart's long-term flea and tick protection is not just for white-collar dogs and cats.
Hart's Yummies?
The famous Hart's 2-in-1 flea and tick-killing collars now come in fabulous colors. So every dog and cat can feel comfortable with the powerful benefits of Hart's 2-in-1 protection. Protection that works for up to 5 months, wet or dry. Pets are jumping for joy wearing their 2-in-1 colored collars. Just ask any flea or tick. These are drop-dead colors.
The health care overhaul President Clinton is proposing would be phased in over 5 to 7 years. Many companies are not about to wait that long. Some companies are now doing their own, what they call reforming of employee benefit packages. Wyatt Andrews investigates for tonight's Eye on America.
The woman on the Stairmaster, Laurie Oshinsky, is climbing her way to an extra week's vacation. It's part of a deal. Because she's promised her company, Quaker Oats, that she will exercise 3 times a week, wear her seatbelt, and not smoke, she gets credits to buy any corporate benefit she wants.
Kind of like having a checkbook. I want to go to Florida. I want to go to Europe.
And you can use these credits to buy what?
Vacation time.
Time off is not the only benefit commodity. Single mother Melanie Mosby applies her credits and a company subsidy to pay for daycare.
For someone who doesn't have children, maybe they can double up on their life insurance. But for me, I can use the money for my daughter while she's young.
And if you can't use daycare, insurance, or time off,
then it rolls into your 401k at the end of the year.
At a time when benefits are eroding for many Americans, some of the larger companies are flooding their employees with new benefit choices. They are responding to a sea change in the once male-only workforce.
We have lots of single moms. We have lots of two-income families. And their needs for long-term security and time off have really changed from what we saw 20 years ago.
What did you give up? What's the catch?
I didn't give up anything. I don't feel like I gave up anything.
For most companies, the driving force behind this new menu of health benefits is not corporate enlightenment or generosity. It's corporate America's need to get a handle on health care costs. Even Quaker Oats, with some of the best benefits anywhere, is in effect bribing their workers into healthy living to cut medical claims. Not all of these plans are like Quakers.
Good afternoon, AT&T.
The communications workers, for example, rejected menu-style benefits, saying the plan they were offered by Ma Bell was a fig leaf, masking reduced medical insurance.
Younger and healthier workers will choose low-cost health benefits so that they can perhaps get better vacation benefits or get cash back. But that leaves them vulnerable to a medical emergency should that arise. They'll be underinsured.
Yes, will you smile for Daddy?
The truth is, in America these days, there are two trends in benefits. One toward exotic new benefits, the other toward no benefits at all.
Thanks, Mommy.
Jay Jarak at Motorola was astonished to learn his company would give him $2,000 to help him adopt his son.
It was one of the added benefits that I would gain by working for Motorola, which at some of the other opportunities I had nothing like it.
It helped them recruit you.
Absolutely.
But most Americans don't work for deep-pocket corporations. They work for smaller companies.
Alice, hello. How you feeling today?
Consider the irony for Arlene Ezrati, who owns a home health agency but can't afford to offer health insurance.
We can't get in the door to provide health care benefits to workers. There's just not enough money coming in.
Take a deep breath.
It makes me angry that I can't provide medical benefits, a pension for them.
Meanwhile, those companies that do offer generous health care tend to think they get that money back in productivity.
Companies that pay attention to people's needs grow dramatically and are more successful.
These two trends in benefits reflect a two-tiered American workplace separated by a health care divide. One of them rich enough to provide cradle-to-grave assistance, the other leaving employees to fend for themselves. In Chicago, Wyatt Andrews for Eye on America.
And that's part of our world tonight. Coming up tomorrow, CBS This Morning will be broadcasting live from Hawaii, where, among other news, there is that hurricane that's supposed to miss the islands. For working in the field tonight, Connie Chung and all of us at the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather. Thank you for watching CBS News. Good night.
CBS News.
She had everyone convinced she was Madonna. It was no joke, but a scam with serious consequences. A hard copy special investigation next.
I think we should have a clinic during the halftime of Winter Blade.